Susan had a very real fear against fire, and it started when she went out for a few groceries a year ago and left her washing machine on. She never even thought that it could catch on fire. When she came back from doing her groceries, she was shocked to the core when she saw that her house was on fire, and the fire was so bad she had to use her insurance money to buy another house. She promised herself that she would never ever leave on any appliance ever again overnight when she left her house, or when she wasn't looking at it to see was everything okay. She plugged out the TV, radio, washing machine and dryer. She switched the oven off. She didn't smoke, so didn't have that worry at least. All Susan's life, she felt tiny feelings that afterwards explained themselves. For instance, she once was on her way to school when she was 8, and she felt a strange dizziness. She didn't tell anyone, but that day in school, her friends spun her around, fooling, and when she finally stood on her own, she felt dizzy. Before the fire had happened in her house, Susan had felt very hot. She never even guessed it was because there would have been a fire about to engulf her whole home. It was one night Susan felt a strange feeling. She felt hot, but also felt cold. Most people would say it was just a fever, and she hoped that that was all it was, a simple fever. She made sure to plug out the appliances, TV, washing machine, etc., as always. She lay in bed worried. Was her feverish hot and cold feeling a warning that there will be another fire in her house? She eventually fell asleep. She was dreaming about a fire brigade, and there was a fire alarm blending in with the siren until she realized she was awake and her fire alarm was ringing. She panicked and jumped out of bed, and when she opened her door, smoke spread all around her fast. She rushed downstairs and wondered how anything could have went on fire. When she plugged out everything, she froze in fright when she saw her fridge had caught on fire, and knew now that was the one appliance she couldn't plug out, because how could she? No one would. She rang the fire brigade, and thankfully they arrived and put the fire out before it did any real damage. But her biggest fear was, what would she do about the fridge, and how could she turn it off without spoiling her food? She would never be able to sleep easy knowing her fridge was plugged in. That was the one appliance she never, ever guessed would be the one she had to plug out. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content. Sarah was just after sneaking into a kitchen of a stranger's house while a man was sitting down drinking his coffee. She had it all planned for a few days. What time he would be at home, was there any nosy neighbours on the lookout for something strange, etc. She went up behind him with a knife and slit his neck. Instantly he fell to the floor. She was looking forward to later, as she was going to see a play. A few hours later, she was admiring her dress she had chosen to wear to the play. On her way to the theatre, she was smiling, looking forward to her next victim. She didn't need a reason to kill. It could be a person she knew all her life, or a complete stranger. Either way, it wouldn't play on her conscience. She would just enjoy the kill and the feeling it gave her. It was like it made her whole again. When she got to the theatre, she took her seat and was looking forward to the play. She heard about it from a friend who saw it a few years ago in a different state. It was a play about a man and a woman running away to get married. Very light and very romantic, just what she needed. When the curtain opened, she saw a table and a man sitting at it. She got comfortable in her seat looking forward to it. Then a woman came onto the stage, sneaking behind the man. First, Sarah didn't take any notice of what was happening, but when the girl took out a knife, she was shocked at what she was seeing. It was like a play of exactly what she did a few hours before. Suddenly the man next to her put handcuffs around her hand and said to her, "Looks familiar. You were under arrest for the murder of someone you neglected to find out had CCTV all over their home. I'm sorry, but it looks like you're going to miss the play." The first thing the woman said was, "It was not me. It must have been my twin sister." Then the cop said, "Well, why do you think we went to all the trouble of doing this scene in the play? I'll tell you why. To get your reaction for proof that it was you." Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content. It was Thanksgiving in Kevin's household, and his cousin Sam and dad Mark were visiting for Thanksgiving dinner. They were talking before the plates were ready to be put on the table and them start eating. Sam was talking about his dad and his keen interest in spiders. Sam said, "My dad has loads of different spiders, and did you know that each year when we are asleep, there are lots of different spiders crawl into our mouths during our sleep?" Kevin said, "Don't say something so stupid and which isn't true. We are going to be eating dinner soon. We don't want to hear you lie about spiders crawling into our mouth. That is disgusting, and of course it isn't true." Sam got angry and said to his dad, "Dad, tell him it's true. Tell him that spiders do crawl into people's mouths when they are asleep." His dad said, "Son, that isn't exactly the topic of conversation we want to be having at Thanksgiving dinner." That night, Kevin went to bed early, while Sam was sleeping in the spare room. Kevin wasn't in the mood to play video games with Sam, as he found him annoying. He quickly fell asleep, but suddenly he awoke from his sleep in the middle of the night. He panicked when he realized he couldn't hardly breathe. He noticed there was something tied around his face, and he struggled to get it off, but luckily it did fast. But when it did, he froze in horror when spiders crawled out of his mouth. Sam was looking in from the door because he couldn't miss the prank he pulled on him, but suddenly he felt kind of sick. Within minutes he dropped to the ground after being bitten by a poisonous spider while putting them in Kevin's mouth. Kevin suddenly felt sick also, and they both died from spider poisoning from spiders Sam had stolen from his dad's bedroom, not knowing that one of them was a poisonous spider. Thanks for watching the Assassin Rapper, and if you enjoy the content, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of new content.